And we are live, people. We are live, and we apologize for the delay. It's never easy when you lose a game. Manchester United. Oh, Lord. Let me say that again. Manchester United. That word, what does it mean? There was no men on that pitch. There was no chest to play for that badge. There was no unity or cohesion to play for the manager. It was like we bought some tickets to the zoo to watch 11 elephants trying to kick that ball up the field and stumbling on the way. Or, in other words, for me, it was like watching a David Attenborough documentary about a snail's funeral. This how poor this game was to me. It was a snore fest, you know. It was a bad day at the office, some people would say. But in order to have a bad day at the office, you have to turn up to the office. And none of them did turn up to the office. But we are not here to take away the victory for Newcastle. Big up for Newcastle. They got the reverse 2 goals back. We won the trophy, but they won the Battle of St. James's Park. This is what we're here for at MUFC Realist TV, to call a spade a spade. And what better way is to do is to introduce also my guest, Jay Daly. But before I do that, please, guys, like and smash all that jazz below. And I know it's hard. You know, I'm suffering. I'm a sore loser. But please support by liking, subscribing, hit that notification buttons and all that just down below. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's go. Let's call a spade a spade.
Has the Premier League ever been more challenging?
Right, welcome. I feel welcome. Dit is mijn home and I want to achieve success. Okay?
Jay, this is my home. And I'm saying like Eric, we are there to achieve success. But today, it was none of them play for Eric, according to my opinion. And this is the reason why I kind of dislike the international break, because it takes away the momentum that we had. Jay, take it away. How are you feeling? Talk to me. What are you feeling? What's your feelings and emotions at the moment?
Well, I just can't say with mine back to that when we got against Fulham, the FA Cup, this was the same performance against Fulham. Just for us, they got 2 sending offs, which changed the game. But Fulham outfought, outclassed us in that game, I thought. And the sending off changed the game. We got looking against Fulham. And a lot of fan base didn't want to see that. The second point is the narrative seems to be, oh, they're playing a game every 3.5 days, blah, blah, blah. Well, the vast majority of those players have been off for the last 10, 12 days due to the national break.
Yeah.
Luke Shaw today was a ghost on the pitch. He only played 1 game for him. Bruno Fernandes had an extended break. So I'm not subscribing to common narrative of fatigue, of tiredness. Very simply today, the Newcastle players wanted it more. Had it not been for David De Gea today, that would have been a 4 or 5 minute route. Now, unpopular opinion, and your Twitterati fans, or your, as I refer to them, FIFA kids, they want to bang on about distribution, blah, blah, blah. But De Gea kept some game today again.
Oh, 100% he did. I mean, the saves that he pulled, Jay, that was just mental.
Yeah, so we can go on any narrative you want, but at the end of the day, those players, apart from Dalot, for me personally, obviously De Gea, Varane and Martinez, the rest of them didn't turn up. Marcus Rashford, okay, he's gotten 27 goals a season, if my stats are correct. But he gets bummed over in the first half. A simple foul, and he's running around as if he's shot by a sniper, throwing his boot at the pitch, fighting with the referee. Bruno Fernandes, as much as I love Bruno Fernandes, spent the vast majority of the game moaning and arguing with the referee. Now, we all love Bruno, but today that team was bereft of leadership because he did not lead. And I go back to what I've been saying for weeks, Mick, on the show. No Casemiro, no party. First half, I couldn't ascertain what position Bruno had in the pitch. And I'm going to say right now, I think when Casemiro plays, he conducts that midfield
Yeah.
like conducting an orchestra. I saw
Yeah.
the Bruno Fernandes headless chicken that we become so accustomed to on the Solskjaer. So that midfield
Yeah.
today was bereft of leadership. There was no one to take the ball off the back four and start a counter attack. We had one shot on target in
The
94
first.
minutes against Newcastle.
Oh.
And right now, we are a point ahead of Spurs, who play tomorrow. We got a plus, I think, 4 or 5 goal difference. They're plus 7. So by
Hmm.
tomorrow night, Nick, we could be sitting in 5th place.
Yeah, but don't they have one more game to play? I mean, one more game ahead of us. That's Spurs, so according to my memory.
Okay. But into the day, Mike, tomorrow night, we could be 5th place. 2 points
Yeah.
behind Spurs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you try a little bit? Your microphone is. Can you try pull it up a bit? Your. I think if you can speak closer because I think it's very low. To be honest, can you try pull it
Uh,
closer to your mouth? Maybe?
okay, I'll do my best. Is that any better?
Yes. Yeah. I just try to pull it
Yeah.
up.
Is that any better?
Can you speak?
Okay. Yeah, is that any better now?
Yeah, it is better, man.
Okay, go
Much
ahead.
much better, man.
Okay.
Where did it go wrong? According to my opinion, I mean, when we looked at team sheet, I always said that St. Maximum, he's a show pony with no end product, but he did one good thing, and that was the first goal. His header that went to what's his name? Can't forget his name now. Oh shit,
Well, look.
Willock. Yeah, that was a brilliant header. That was a brilliant ball from Bruno Almares as well, who I think I rate as a very good midfielder, to be honest. But our midfield. In the first for me I tweeted out like Grandpa Simpson sleeping because it was a snowfest from the first get-go, and lately we've been seeing that, Jay. We've been seeing that slow starts. I saw you tweeted out as well to say that not a good return for the first 45 minutes, and I also thought it was tactics, because going at St. James's Park is never easy. We know how agitated football they play, so it was more soaking up the pressure from our side and probably try to hit him on the break. But as you said, Weghorst never touched the ball in the first half. Marcus Rashford, we never got any balls to it in the first half whatsoever. And shockingly, I thought it was 2 shots on target. I think one was counting that volley from Anthony, right? But at the end of the day, it proves that a lot of our players went on international break. I don't have an excuse, but how many did they actually have on international break, and what rest and training did our boys do to prepare for this game? It felt like more that we went in for a draw, and we were kind of banking that draw, but we didn't have anything to answer with in the second half, right? And what was more, if I go into the second half, he threw everything, all the dice on the table, all in, by taking out Varane and Martinez and just playing one defender, which is Lindelof, and that even didn't capitalize. So for me, that was just a sign of there was no chest, simply no chest.
Yeah. Kicking off Moran and Martin. So far be criticized on and but they got all but down there big with life saving and the mortgage on red and up comes black. Let's say like Moran and Martin said, okay, if you want to bring on Lindelof, fair enough. But what difference does Lindelof bring to the team over Aberrant and Martin? If you want to do something, do it at half time. Take off. Stop Max sideways for a start. He's absolutely dog shit as the usual. But Gary Neville is digging him up. The second coming of Iniesta. Take him off at
Hmm.
half time. Bring on Fred, or put Lindelof as CD in. But Martinez is that you want to add some bite and some bollocks and a bit of leadership into midfield. Well, you're away to Newcastle, you're going down, and if you really want to throw chips on the table, leave on Varane, leave on World Cup run and put your other World Cup winner in that midfield and let him go in there and boss the midfield and show some leadership. Show the leadership that Fernandez was showing to him. And also, I tweeted there. I never thought I'd tweet bring on bring on Anthony Martial. And I saw Martial warm up. I thought, oh Jesus, he's going to get injured in the warm up. Weghorst, like we've been trying to find positives about Weghorst to start the season. We've both given him the benefit of the doubt because of his work. But is that what we're reduced to? The narrative came out from Ten Hag Club for Ronaldo's petulant, he's insolent, blah 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 blah. He can't play every minute of every game. But yet we've got a 6'6" workhorse who is playing every minute of every game. So would you rather a 38-year-old petulant, arrogant Ronaldo playing every minute, or a Weghorst? I knew who I would pick. So I think questions have to be asked today of Ten Hag's thought process. Bring on those subs when he did. I thought they were too late. And also to take off your two World Cup winners. Take off your two leaders. Yeah, that makes sense, Mick, does it not? Bring off your leadership.
Yeah. We got a comment here from... Can't hear you, Daly.
Oh,
crap.
I'm hoping you can. Apologies.
Hang on. If you can sort your out, I will rant a bit and we'll talk as well. You can sort yourself out.
Yeah.
100%. Thank you, Ahmad, for that. I totally agree what Jay is saying, basically. Like, I think most of our United fans that was watching this felt a little bit frustration. Most of us felt a little bit like, a little bit of butterflies in the stomach, not knowing how this game is going to go. But I think it's due to the fact of the two weeks in international break as well, like, but at the end of the day, going to St. James's Park is never easy, like, and we know what kind of football they're playing. They had all this time to organize and set up. Of course, we went to their home ground advantage, but in the instance that Aaron Wan-Bissaka was supposed to start instead of Daly, was to pocket St. Maximin, but unfortunately he was injured and couldn't play. I was a little bit skeptical to see who. I mean, Sabitzer, for me, he was one of the best players on the pitch today. He was going up and down, and he was actually putting a shift in, right? But I didn't see Scott McTominay more than the ones when he drove the ball forward. I mean, Scott McTominay, according to me, he's not a CDM. He's not a central defender midfielder. He's a box-to-box, more advanced midfielder. But I didn't see Scott McTominay contribute. As usual, I see Scott McTominay always hiding. I don't know. It was kind of a man-marking system the first half. It didn't really pay off. And I agree with what Jay was saying, that, you should have just adjusted after the second half. You should have given the hairdryer to say, look, guys, you had 2 weeks off. Show me some leadership. Show me some chest. Show me that you are Manchester United and willing to fight for your third spot. Because today was, according to my opinion, to solidify that third spot, right? To secure the third spot. And now we have to share it, as what Jay say, with Newcastle on equal third. And come up tomorrow when Tottenham, with the new bounce manager, will play, we might even sink down to what? 4th or 5th. And we don't want that. But, however, I think there's about 13, 12 games more to play. And I'm not panicking, but at the end of the day, if it wasn't for the international break, I would say that, complacency. And this comes down to the next chat from United Mania. Big up, Tommy Boy, man. United Mania, how you doing, mate? Complacency comes to mind. There's a lot of things that comes to mind, Manchester United Mania. There's a lot of things that we can deflect on or call a spade. Who wanted to win this game more? Was it Newcastle or was it United, right? I think Newcastle wanted it more, according to my opinion. Let me know, guys, what you think in the chat below. Jay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you perfectly.
Cool. There's nothing more to say. Didn't expect 2-0.
The word there from that chat, complacency. How a bunch of professional footballers go to James Park when you're in third place, playing your fourth place rival that we beat in That's what they
Mm.
were. They were ultra complacent. For an actual fact, they should have been ultra. I'm not going to say fearful, but they should have been mentally on edge. Okay, Newcastle are up this. We beat them in the Carabao Cup. Their fans are like you saw the rabid fans in Newcastle. It's first of April, the camera pans to the ground, and there's fat lads with tattoos with their tops off the first of April. Like Newcastle, like those
I
the only
saw
like
that.
unlike the vast majority of cities in the UK, Newcastle is the only Premiership team in Newcastle. There's no cross city rival, so the entire
Yeah,
city supports Newcastle. So go up to something like that, a bit complacent.
a bit
If
complacent.
anything, it's unprofessional.
Oh, it's not professional. You get paid to play football, but you also get paid. We don't pay to watch, three fat guys in the stand, full tattoo, like mocking us. At the end of the day, the beer bellies was hanging out, and it's like, oh God, I don't want to see this.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you are. There you are. The sound is better. Come back.
So
There you are.
what would you Mick, say was how to put this? We don't have we don't have a man of match, Mick. So apart from I suppose De Gea man of match. So what would
Um,
you say was the key mistake that was made in the match by either the players or the coaching staff?
I think the coaching staff got the tactics wrong in the first place. It was clear and obvious, clear as day that I saw from my perspective, the way I saw it was man-to-man marking. The game plan for me was not to concede the first half and just grind it out, let them have possession. We just soak possession, and I think the game plan was to hit him on the break with Marcus Rashford's speed and Anthony and stuff like that. But if you saw Dan Burn, the giant, it was like the battle between David and Goliath. It was a
Yeah.
mismatch from the beginning, right? So we saw one instance when even Rashford went out to the right, and Anthony was trying to play in the middle, but nothing worked. So basically, they figured it out. They figured our strategy out from the very first beginning. They had a very good pressing. We never got all that pressing in the first half. We just looked like slow on the ball. We didn't have tempo, according to my opinion. And I was expecting okay, let's see what's going on in the second half. We came up with the same team, and bang, we conceded 1-0. And rightfully I think they were the better team, miles away. To be honest, I think they were the better team, and but there was a little voice inside of me to think, we're gonna get this, we're gonna nick a goal, we're gonna win 1-0, or it's gonna be 1-1. But yeah, it is what it is. You can't win them all. You like Tyson Fury. You go up and fight 12 rounds. The season is long. You're gonna get knocked down sooner or later. You know what I mean? I can't
Yeah.
find anything. I can't find anything more positive than the hair save and Sabitz's performance as well, because we saw what Sabitzer is. He's a class player, right? He was running like a turbo engine, like a squirrel on a 6-pack of Red Bulls. To be honest, he was up and down.
A squirrel on a 6-pack of Red Bull. That is
Yeah,
going to
man.
be literally the quote of what day. Well, I wish at halftime, Ten Hag had ripped out the pre-workout and plus the Red Bulls and made every player taking a leader of it, because as you pointed out, Mick, you're spot on. Second half, I said to my son at halftime, right, halftime, he's going to rip the new one, and he's going to, second half, you're going to see a big difference. First 10 minutes, Mick, there was no difference. It was rinse and repeat. So
Rinse and repeat.
there was no, I didn't see any desire for the players today. I didn't see any sense of urgency. Like, it's not as if we're playing Southampton or a Leicester City who are at the bottom end of the table. It's Newcastle in front of their rabid home fans, So I just expected more. And I can, look, you win or lose on any given Sunday. I can cope with losing.
Yeah.
It's the nature of sport. But it's how you lose.
It's how you lose.
It's how you lose. Like, if we had been at them from the gun and it was end-to-end battle, but like you could see from the first 5 minutes, and you alluded to it there, we went man to man, and they absolutely pressed the life out of us. There
Yeah,
was
they
no
did.
there was no
All
real
right.
change at halftime. To be fair, back to Delo, I thought Delo had a good game against the Max.
He did, in a
I
way.
was worried that Delo would get beaten in pace and physical against the Maxima. He wasn't. I thought he had a good game against them. I
Yeah.
give him credit.
Yeah.
But you know, you said there about Scott McTominay. To go back to it, yeah, he made that one run down the right flank.
He did.
He put the cross in that I think Botman headed out for a corner kick. But
Yeah.
that was the only time I can remember him doing anything in the game. So
Mm.
what I've said it, man, for years, Scott McTominay and Carrington, he must be a mismatch between Roy Keane, Xavi, Scholes, and Iniesta in their prime. Because I've never seen it from him on the pitch. Never. So he's a championship player at best. I've never seen it.
Yeah. Jay, knock knock.
Here we go. Who's there?
Botswana Puppy.
Oh, hello, Jay. Hello, Mick.
Oh, your volume is way out of line. Oh, you.
And he's,
How
so
you gonna-
loud.
and he's smiling. And he's smiling. It's just, Pappy, this is a therapy session, my friend. Therapy, bro.
Yo, I am here, because I feel like it's one of those things where we just have to smile in the misery, and
You were not too happy. I was watching your live stream after the match. I saw you how you were ranting, sir.
Oh, I was not happy. I was not happy at all, and I'm still not happy. And it's one of those things where I feel like today was a wake up call. We needed it. We needed a little bit of a wake up call because we were a little bit getting ahead of ourselves with the progress that we've made this season. Of course, I also feel like the players themselves let themselves down and us fans down because it seems like they're ready to throw down all the progress that we've built in the last couple of weeks. And there was not enough fight. There was not enough grit. There was not enough passion. And, I'm almost getting a little bit tired of the transition football, and I feel like we just need to just almost reset and just go back to basics. We just didn't see how in the first half we couldn't even control the midfield. Second half we still weren't able to control the midfield, and usually Ten Hag is able to fix that. I don't know like what your opinions of what happened in terms of the tactics, but there was just something that was just off as well from Erik Ten Hag's side,
Oh, 100%. I'm just going to Ahmed Bath. Welcome to the chat. Disgraceful performance. Some of these players been having too many waffles in their spare time, it seems. Big up, Ahmed. Big up,
Ahmed,
mate.
yeah. Rashford is having bagels and donuts still. He's still in New York. He's definitely not in Carrington right now. This is easily one of Rashford's worst performances. Like I haven't seen Rashford since Qatar. Let's say that it's probably one of his worst performances since Qatar. And obviously the other argument is like he didn't get a lot of support from the midfield. When you're a forward and you're getting very, very limited chances with the ball, and the moments when you get the ball, it's not really favorable for you to do your thing. He had that one-on-one with Trippier that he could have done something with, but other than that, it was very, very slim chances, very minimal chances for all our forwards, and that also goes back to, that's why I have to look at the manager and say, we had a statistic in the first half where we pretty much didn't have a single. It's the first time we haven't registered as a shot on target, at least under Ten Hag, I think. So it's just one of them things that I feel like there was something that was tactically wrong, as well as with the players as well. They just couldn't. Dalo, I heard you, Jay, talking about Dalo. My feeling about Dalo is like I'm ready for a different kind of right back to audition and try for that for that right back position, because obviously Wan-Bissaka, and it's unfortunate he was ill, but Dalot can seem to get back to the Dalot that we saw just before the World Cup,
Hold,
and that's worrying to me.
just hold my beer on that one. We're gonna unpack that one as well. I'm just gonna go
Mhm.
to a comment from Man United Mania. Big up for a big supporter of the channel. He says Rashford made so many runs as always, but nobody picked him up. This is why we miss Casemiro. He always finds him.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we miss Casemiro. I mean, this was a game when it was clear and obviously that if Casemiro is gone injured or suspended, the drop off is huge. We're talking
Mhm.
about falling off the Eiffel Tower and landing on a pile of shit. To be honest, I'm sorry for saying that, but this is kind of the way I feel, right?
Mhm.
um I was expecting to see more. Okay, McTominay, he did a great Scottish international, but that's Scotland, that's international football. We're talking about Premier League. We're talking about going to St. James's Park, talking about playing Newcastle in the competitive midfield, what they have. The Ginger Longstaff and Bruno
Listen,
Algemers and
Mick,
all them.
international football is an anomaly. Like we were chatting last Monday before Ireland played France, and it was either a case of how many France would win by. France narrowly beat Ireland by 1 goal. Ireland should have got a draw. That's the anomaly that international football is. That Scott
Hmm.
McTominay can rock up and score two in Spain. It's it's apples and oranges comparing them. But
Hmm.
the commentary, Pappy, I don't know what commentary you had on today, but Gary Neville and his co-commentator in the
Yeah.
first half were bigging up Gary Neville, like sorry, bigging up McTominay like it's fucking yes.
In the first half,
Absolute bullshit. Yeah,
that's
that's
BS.
but that's the crap we listen to you here, right? And a lot of the sheep fans, because Sky Sports or BT, they believe because Gary never said it, so it must be true, or
Then
a
they run with it.
commentator said it. And I don't know what you tell me what feed you get yours from, but and I was like, are they watching the same game I'm watching?
That's really, really worrying me, because I could say Scott McTominay had a horrible game, and his only two good moments were actually in the second half, where he stole the ball. I can't remember from who, but then that run that somebody
The
was
run and the
talking, you,
cross.
Mick,
Yeah,
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 the run and the cross that you were
yeah, yeah,
talking about with Mick just before I came in.
yeah,
Those were the only two moments of
yeah.
Scott McTominay of brilliant, of good. They're not even brilliance,
But
moments of brilliance.
the narrative that we're getting in the first half is,
Yeah.
oh, Scott, his work rate, his work rate is so good. Such an art pro, gets in the ball, keeps it simple. Hang on a second, it's not only football we're watching. It's the Premier League. This is supposed to be the creme de la creme of English football, and a player gets lauded for work rate, keep it simple. Come on, it's bullshit.
Yeah, yeah. When I open up the show, I said Manchester United. What does that mean? Man, there was no men on the field. Chest, nobody played without chest. United, there was no cohesion. There was static. It was like walking into H&M and looking at all these static mannequins standing there, like wearing this shirt. That's how it is. They were stiff as. So I'm trying to find any man of the match from our side, and all I can think of was De Gea. The saves that he pulled out. I don't know what people still talking about getting a second goalkeeper. His ball distribution was. I didn't see one single mispass ball that he did today. He played well on his feet. Sabitzer for sure. But at the end of the day, to summarize this game, what I said, it was like we paid to go to the zoo to watch 11 elephants trying to kick a ball and stumbling all the time because we couldn't thread the ball through whatsoever.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I ended up turning on Netflix and watching David Attenborough with a documentary of Snails' funerals.
Oh my god, brilliant. Happy, give us a flavor of the rants you were having in your channel. Give me a flavor of what your narrative was.
I'll just go ahead and just say those guys that we have at Man United right now, the squad that we have, they're hungover. They're hungover from the Energy Cup that we just won a few weeks ago. We have not won a single game. We have not scored in a single Premier League game ever since that Carabao Cup final. And we have lethargic guys who are just lazy. And you know why? Because satisfaction breeds complacency, and we're starting to see some players that were just like, oh, we're winners, oh, we're happy, oh, look at this. Right now, a lot of people are static. A lot of people were just glued to the ground. You didn't even look like you had a 10-day break. Luke Shaw, did you even kick a ball in your break? He reminds me of one of those when it's school break, a summer break, you don't read your textbook, you don't read nothing in your schoolwork, you don't do any of your assignments that you're supposed to do in the break, and then you're supposed to go ahead and get going when school starts. No, man, kick a ball during the break. I know it's international break, but do something, some drills.
I love that. Well, I tell
I
you one
love
thing
that.
that Luke Shaw during that break, he definitely went back on a high carb diet for me. Because he looked sluggish and slow. And he's not a man that ever had how to put it, cheekbones like diamonds. He's a player that has almost been a little bit rotund. And
Are
he's
you
come back from the national
suggesting,
break looking a bit wider for me.
Yeah.
Jay, there's a lot of carbs in beer.
I don't drink beer, my friend. I don't do beer.
No, but we mentioned, I don't talk about those kind of substances, or suggesting that some players are when they're on the break, they're having a little bit too much of that high carb substance as well. But
Yeah, listen, it might explain the sluggishness, Pappy and Mick, that we saw today to a man. And you raise a very, very valid point, Pappy, and I love it. I think we should tease into it a little bit that, when you have sugar, like you make, from days when you're competing, you're always going to be micromanaging your sugar and the effect it has on your insulin levels. So, Pappy used the analogy of we won the high energy cup to get that big insulin spike for about 20-25 minutes.
Yep.
And then what happens when you have the spike?
Yeah.
The crash. You go right down, and that insulin drops right down into your toenails. So that
Crash
team
and burn.
today, they looked like the insulin levels were in their toenails because they couldn't press. They weren't looking to win second balls. They were reft with these going forward. So your point, I think, Pappy, is very valid. A lot of players, they finally got their hands on the trophy. Like, fuck me, Harry Maguire even got his hand on the trophy. Weghorst never thought in a million years he was actually going to be at Wembley holding a piece of actual silverware, wearing a Manchester United shirt. So for a lot of players, gentlemen, it's a fair point. Had they now reached the zenith of the mountain, they're now getting their insulin crash, and they're so far down from that win last month that they're clawing with the fingernails to get back up, to go again.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I like what Ahmad Baht is saying.
Yeah.
Our players look like bots, honestly. So static. We cover that. And breaking news. Oh my God. We just came in. Chelsea sacked Potter, by the way, lads. Off topic. Oh my God.
Wow. So Potter gone today and Brendan Rodgers gone yesterday. Wow.
I hope he got some Red Bull, because that gives him wings.
Wow.
Oh my God. Well, that was coming. That was coming. Yeah, but also Todd Bowley. I mean, I don't give a care. I don't care about the Blues at the end of the day. He sacked Thomas Tuchel, which was a good manager, to bring in like a Harry Potter. What is Harry Potter supposed to do? Well, one thing that we've seen with Chelsea, it ain't matter how much money you spend. It ain't matter if you don't have that team cohesion, that mana, that unitedness. And by the way, there's something that we lack today. Yeah, it's down to the manager to make this player gel. And this is what Conte was also sacked for, because he called it out. You couldn't get those group player playing for him, playing for the badge. Laziness. You're getting paid. You know you're going to get paid week in, week out. You're talking about £100,000 per week just by showing up in training. Scott McTominay, we talked about him before. He must be some combination of Kino, some bloody Mbappe, whatever. But when it comes down to display that on the pitch, where is it? Where is it? We've seen that in Scotland. We don't see what you're doing on the training pitch. But for me,
guys, Mick, you making me remember. I have to say this line that I just came up with in the stream in my channel just before coming here. I said, Scott McTominay, I feel like I have to talk to you and say you are more Scottish than red.
Yeah,
we're not xenophobic here.
But happy. You think playing for Scotland, Scott McTominay playing for Scotland, like that's his level. He's playing with the level of players at his level. Same as how Maguire plays for England, and he prefers playing for Britain because he's picked no matter what. He won't be dropped no matter what. And I know if you saw the goal he scored last week, I think that was an atypical Harry Maguire mess up. So some of these players clearly prefer playing for their country than playing for themselves. But I think that's a very pertinent point that you.
Yeah, I've been saying that. I'm singing from the same Spotify playlist as you, Jay. I've been saying that certain players, they play for country rather than the club, and certain players get picked by a certain manager that is a prat, and they never play in the league, but they play well for England.
Are you meaning Ole Gunnar Solskjaer?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
having that happy, yeah.
It's going south, to the gate. Whenever you're bored, you're going south, and you take the plane, and it goes board, gate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But jokes aside, Harry Maguire always rocks up for Southgate. He plays for Southgate. We have Calvin Phillips, a lot of these B-Tech players, right? At the end of the day, it's the level of football, right? It's the playing style that suits that manager, right? That's what I'm trying to say. And it's horrible to see a manager sacked. It's horrible to see that the owner of that specific club will rather sack a manager and blame on the manager than take the blame on himself, because at the end of the day, you, Todd Bowley, were the one that went on a spending spree. You spent 350 million on players, left, right, center. You hijacked Mudryk, Mick, that.
I hear you. But here's the thing. I have to disagree with you and say that right now, Todd Bowley, he knows he looks foolish, but something had to change, and the ship is tanking. And these three things you can change when a ship is tanking in a club. It's either the players, the owner, or the manager. And the cheapest thing to change this time around was even though Potter goes home with a really hefty package, he's gonna go home really nicely and be good in his whatever in unemployment weeks that he's having. But Todd Bowley shot himself in the foot by getting rid of Tuchel. But go ahead and finish what you're going to say. I just interjected you because I had to say that, bro.
Let me do the Houdini and throw it back at you to say,
please.
Would he sack Potter if Nagelsmann wouldn't have been sacked for Manchester, for Bayern Munich? Now that Nagelsmann is available, that's probably why.
You're probably right on that. For real. It's the thing where I feel like we have to give respect to with consideration, obviously, to the boards that really act ruthless. You see how the Bayern Munich board acted, like to Nagelsmann, and the Nagelsmann was not necessarily really horrible, but like there was like, this is not below par. We're not seeing belief from the players in the system. We're analyzing your system, and we're not seeing anything that's convincing
Right.
us that you should stay. Even though you're not necessarily we're not like fourth. Anyway, so the whole point is Todd Bowley woke up and saw that the way the other boards are realizing, this is the way, this is how you move, this is the threshold. You have to be cutthroat if you're trying to make sure that you're staying on top. And he, unfortunately, Graham Potter, he should have stayed at Brighton. He should have stayed at Brighton in hindsight. It's one of those things where not every next opportunity that seems like it's dazzling is the best one for you. It's a lesson.
Guys, I got one for you.
Go ahead, Jay.
I'm Todd Bowley.
Yeah.
I'm looking at players that I purchased.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at who's available. I'm going to go with the man, the myth, the legend, the enigma, special one. Ripping up trees at Roma with a very limited budget. Jose got shafted at Spurs. Absolutely shafted. That's been proven now. Like, Jose couldn't get a tune out of the Spurs players. I don't know if you ever watched the All or Nothing documentary on Amazon Prime, Jose and the Spurs players.
Yeah.
You watched it. It's epic.
Yeah.
So Conte couldn't get a tune out of it. So do you not think now that Jose, in the twilight of his career, he still has a point to prove? Hey, I'm still a special one. I'm still an elite manager, and I can still go and do it in the Premiership. So if I'm Todd Bowley, I'm sitting tight, seeing what Jose can do in Europa League between now and May.
Yeah.
Jose gets to semi-final, final Europa League. I'm pulling the trigger. Jose the third coming in Chelsea. And it'd be interesting. I know we've got no Chelsea fans watching, but if I was a Chelsea fan, I'd be like, right, get Jose in, get the man back, bring back the special one.
Yeah.
Where's my button? Like, where's my? Do you have any button there, puppy? Do you have any?
Jose is gonna be announced soon.
Oh, like lads, here we go. I'm biased. Okay, I'm biased, right?
Yeah.
No, but you got a point.
I'm almost drawn to charismatic individuals. I'm drawn to
of course
males. All my friends are like me. They're of that nature. We're all big characters. Otherwise, we wouldn't get on. Hence why I was so against Solskjaer getting the management job at United, because not a character, no charisma, no balls, no, my phrase, testicular fortitude. You bring in Jose Mourinho back into that club. He'll put manners on the players, because he'd be like, so what have you won?
Yeah.
What have you won?
I'm just going to say...
I'm Jose. What have you won?
Exactly.
Show me a medal. Yeah. And who can... you all remember when he sat down
it was
the entire English media. And he went his famous speech on this is football heritage. You make quarter-final. You make league stage Champions League. This is football heritage. So he and your young fans, they just couldn't get that. He was telling the fans, this is where your club is. This is what your club has become. And when he came out with that statement, the football heritage statement, and subsequently saying that his biggest achievement in football was finishing second with the group players he had at that time. And let's be fair, we had absolute charlatans playing for us then, led by Paul Drogba in a dressing room. He gets second, right? And the younger fans don't have enough maturity and real world experience to understand what the man is saying. So that's what I'm saying. And a few Chelsea fans think, yeah, fuck it, bring Jose back.
Yeah, we see. We see. Just want to say big up for Man United Mania for supporting the channel. Gotta shoot, guys. Have a good one. Thanks you, mate. And drink your sorrows away if you're in a pub, because we do understand if you do. Right, guys. Just a quick one before we kind of wrap it up to the crescendo. Ain't over to the fat lady sings what we say. Um, did we see any positives of this game? Any positive balls indication of how we move forward, right? Puppy.
There were no positives at all. There was nothing positive. The only person that can hold their head up high in everybody in that performance individually is David De Gea, and everybody else can just look at themselves in the mirror and not be proud of what they see. Because I honestly, uh, if I was going to have to really, really, really just say like truthfully that we are looking tired, we were looking lethargic, and we just need to just wake up, and come back with the Men United Ten Hag swag that we've been building and that we know that we can find, and it's there in us. We just need to be able to just finish the season strong, because that's the whole objective. That's what we've been building towards, and we can't just let it slip right at the final moment. I know we've been overachieving, but this is the time to actually now even dig deep, and if I was gonna dig deep and look for a positive, the only positive is Martial played and he didn't get injured. He finished the game and he was a little bit of a bright spark in his link up play, and that was the only thing that I can say I'll dig out as a positive from this, and potentially that Eric Ten Hag maybe has a very good lesson that he's learned versus Newcastle about these players, because every chance, every performance is a potential for Ten Hag to make a performance evaluation and really make a judgment about a player as we head to the transfer window. Go ahead, Mick.
Jay.
No, Jay. Yeah.
No, I'm going to take no positives. I thought players should have got wake-up call after they were embarrassed by Liverpool. Then we saw, when Mick and I opened the show with, we saw the same listless performance against Fulham up to defending offs. We were out of that game. And we see it again today. So the question, Pappy and Nick, that I would ask is, has the rot set in now? And I think we are going to stutter and stammer between now and May to finish up. Because
Okay.
because we haven't got the response that we wanted to get post Liverpool. We saw another insipid performance.
Jay, that result versus Liverpool feels worse and worse every time when you see Liverpool lose to the and now this is even now adding more salt now to be like, oh, we're just really, really weak as a team.
If we got 7-Up, they got 4-in-1 coffee blend.
I say 4-Loco.
4-in-1. You can buy those sachets like sugar, cream, everything, coffee in ones, and 4-in-1. I'm joking. Absolutely agree with you. Are we scared that we are burnt out to the end of the season? I mean, looking ahead, we have Brentford at home, April the 6th, and Brentford is not a pushover with Thomas Frank at the helm. See it. Oh no, we got battered at Brentford last time, if you remember, and now we're playing that at home. So they're gonna rock up like it's a World Cup final. Do we have Casemiro back for that game?
No.
Damn. All right, it's gonna be a tough one, guys. It's going to be a tough one, but we got to cup it on the chin. I don't see any man of the match more than De Gea. I don't, as mentioned, Sabitzer was the only one putting in a shift. He was really, really good. Other than that, De Gea, I don't see any other answer. For me, there is no man of the match other than David De Gea. Either if we score 2-0, but what could De Gea have done, right? We call a spade a spade. We're not the negative stand here. We are realists. We tell it as it is. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose, but we always stand up for the badge. We are proud of the badge, and you can only criticize the performance on the pitch, and that's what we do. At the end of the day, guys, you know, it is what it is. We talked for 50 minutes. There's nothing more to add to it. We lost. We lick our wounds and we go again. I think 6th of April it is. And then we have 13th. We have Europa League away, Sevilla away. We'll have another Paella and Cerveza. Right?
Hopefully.
But tomorrow at 7:30 we're doing we have Talk Sports. I think Jay, you're also going to be on, right? Yeah. We have Anil Kandola from Talk Sports. We're going to talk transfer targets. We're going to talk striker. We're going to talk a lot, and of course we're going to talk about how the season is going to shape the rest ahead. So guys, if you're watching tomorrow, tune in, and the link is already out there on YouTube. Make sure you bookmark it because it's going to be a smashing podcast. But for now, I'm a sore loser. I need to go and sleep. I think, I don't know. I just got to wake up tomorrow. I'm not feeling well. Right, Jay. Thank you for coming, guys. Poppy, listen, we can't win always. That's the reality, right?
No, we can't win. And as much as it feels bad, somebody just lost that job. Graham Potter lost his job.
Yeah, Graham.
So there's other things that are worse that could happen. So let's try and be positive and look on the brighter side of life. Whatever can help us keep our
Jay,
mind
what's
off.
your plan for the rest of the evening to forget this horrible loss?
Right now, steak and wine.
Oh, that's good. That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm going to have a pizza, I think. When the moon hits the sky like a big pizza by that Zamore.
Hey.
But Poppy, you know what? It was a bad day at the office, but in this case, what you said, nobody turned up to the office. So how can you have a bad day at the office?
If you can't show up to the office.
But what you can do, people viewing this, like and subscribe, hit that notification button, follow Jay on Twitter or Poppy. You can find the handles there. Jay, you're on Twitter. Come back, watch us tomorrow again for the big podcast, 7:30. Make sure you bookmark it and be nice to each other on the socials. It is Sunday and tomorrow we have a Monday Blues, but try to see the positive. We play again. Guys, like and subscribe. Thank you for all coming. See you guys. Bye for now. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching MUFC Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.